I'm here today with Swan of BlackRain to talk about Untamed, out November 25th on Steam Hammer. How are you doing today?
Very good. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure, my pleasure. A great record that you guys have. And let's dissect it a little bit. When you look at the final product now, when you look at this album, what do you feel like that it sets this record apart from its predecessors?
Well, definitely the production. I don't think the writing process has been really different than what we used to do, but definitely the production is much different than anything we had in the past. And I think just because of that, the band actually reached a new level. So and then probably I felt a little bit more of freedom in the way I made the songs. There's a lot of diversity in the album, which we didn't dare to do that in the past because not everybody understand that. So we tried to be careful, but now we just did what we like to do, and I think it was a good choice.
You mentioned the creative process hasn't changed that much. How is the creative process behind the band?
It's very simple. We basically all work at home, and everybody has his DAW with you just record on your computer, and then you exchange the tracks over the internet. I do most of the job most of the time. The other guys always send me their part, but they can send me ideas as well, but it doesn't happen too often. I think it almost didn't happen on this album for some reason. I don't know why, but that's the way it's been on Untamed. And so we basically build the songs, the demo like this. Everybody, we exchange the tracks and everybody says what he has to say about the song. So then we do some modification. We do all the changes that are needed, and when the demo is finished, when everybody's pleased with it, we basically send it to the mix, and that's how it works.
You said that so that process didn't change. The production changed. Did this create any new challenges for you guys making the album, or no?
No, not at all. I think we found a good way to work that fits us well, and we're gonna keep going that way. I mean, it was very important for us this time that we find actually someone that can bring us the sound that we were looking for, because we've been around for many years, and we never been like 100% satisfied with the productions of the previous albums. I felt like, I still feel like we've been a little bit cursed with the BlackRain sound, and I was very happy to work with Hannes from Kiss and Dynamite, and the fact that he offered the band like a really modern touch, a really modern production, and I think that's really what we were looking for. It really brings the demo to the next level. It really makes them, it feels much more alive, and of course super fat and huge. So
you're looking for a sound. The production now was better. Did that help you find that sound then?
Absolutely. I guess you never really find your sound. You always keep looking, and but at least it's the first time that we are like fully satisfied, and that we don't actually listen to the demos and start to think, well, even if the demo sounds much smaller, the balance was better, and we've lost something in the when we sent it to the mix. It happened so much in the past that it's always a big disappointment, and I think you get some great tracks, and when you get them back and it doesn't sound the way you want it, it's really like throwing the tracks to trash somehow, So it's a lot of how to say, I mean, it's very disappointing in a way.
So in a sense, Untamed is like your debut record.
Unfortunately, it actually feels like that. In many ways, I mean, I got myself, I found myself thinking those exact words many times now, and it feels really weird. But I guess it's never too late, you know. And we actually really see that the production and what we've done with that album changes a lot of things, just because the feedback we already started to get from it, it clearly something changed. And I guess we start to see a difference as well with the concerts, because we get much more demand, and it's like, you know, it's a chain reaction. So I'm very pleased to see to see how it's going.
The album is incredibly engaging and entertaining to listen to from beginning to end. What gives the album that feeling? Is it the sound, the diversity of the sound, or do you also give some credit to how you guys created the track listing and the overall design?
I would put this on the diversity. That's my guess. We never did an album with so many songs, I think, and we were not planning to do an album with like 12 or 13 tracks. We were aiming for like 9 or 10, but in the creative process, it just turned out that I don't know, I had a lot of ideas in the end, and the songs just sounded great. So I just kept going, and then when we had everything together, it didn't sound like boring, you know, it didn't sound too long, and because of its diversity, I guess it's okay. It doesn't feel like listening to the same song over and over, like I had this feeling on the previous album a little bit, because we really stick to one style. We really wanted to sound like glam and very much 80s, and we didn't want to get out of this box. We did it on purpose, but I think it was annoying. So and just because everybody in the band is very open-minded, everybody's listening to different kind of things and music, it was actually very natural to start just doing what we want and what we like. It's always the same thing. What matters in the end is the melodies, and that all the songs, as diverse as they can be, you still maintain the identity of the band. And I think I think it's what we've done with this album. I hope at least this is what we tried to do, at least.
In my opinion, you guys definitely did that, because regardless of how diverse the album is, there's an underlying red line that still connects the record. I still feel like I'm listening to BlackRain. It doesn't matter if I'm listening to the first song or to the last song. Now, you talked about finding your sound. How would you define the sound on this record? Because I saw some glam, I saw some hard rock, I saw some metal, I saw a lot of different things. So are you concerned with creating a sound that at least you can fit under one genre? How you define it?
It's a very complicated question. The sound matter. It's you can approach it from different point of view. You can approach it like a musician and like a professional, you know, someone that a professional producer or something like that. When I say we're looking for the right sound, I think it's more about having a sound, a production that allow your band to be in the competition in the music industry. Because today, everybody sounds like larger than life, you know. It's the sound techniques. I mean, it's been growing for many years, and everything just keeps sounding bigger and bigger. So you need to have something modern enough to be in that competition. And this is what we were looking for. This is what we never had. The question of the sound itself, it's a very hard question. I like different kind of things, you know. I can be very old school. I like the sound, the warm sound from the 70s, but I also really like this modern sounding with you know, drum sample and keyboards, and so if you can get a mix of all that, it's absolutely great. But I guess in the end, what we are really looking for is just a sound that allows us to compete with the other bands and to be there, you know, to exist.
One of the things that I noticed about this album is that it didn't matter how different the tracks were. All of them were super hooky, super catchy, great choruses, great melodies, great harmonies, great vocal performance, and everything coming together in those choruses that make them super memorable. I mean, it's impossible to not sing along to these tracks. Is that an important part, not just of the sound of the band, but of rock and roll in general, to have those hooks?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much, first of all. Yeah, it's to me, it's the core of rock and roll. And personally, this is what hooks me up in music in general. This is why I like this band or this band or this artist or this artist. I function on the melodies. So if I found something catchy, it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if there's fat guitars behind it. This is why I'm going to like it or not. And automatically, this is what I'm trying to reproduce in my own band, I guess. This is not something I plan. This is something that comes naturally, and this is always what I try to do since the beginning, since I started to compose my own songs. So yeah, this is just what hooks me up, and I try to compose what I like. I guess it's as simple as that.
I loved your vocal performance. I have a couple of questions to ask you about your vocals. First of is, when you're making these songs, do you create the track thinking of your vocal range, or do you adapt to the song and go wherever you need to go? Because it felt very free to me, your overall vocal performance.
It's a good question, and in the past, I never cared about what I could do or what I couldn't. I just wrote the songs on the guitar, and I would sing it the way it needed to be singing. But when you get on stage and you have to sing 15 of those songs, that's another story. And now I'm trying to be very careful with it, because I found myself in situation like, you know, I'm starting to age a little bit, and I start to feel it on the voice. And it's really hard to keep it going on stage while you're moving, and to keep the same voice from the beginning to the end of the show. It's super tough. So now I've been very careful on this album to make sure that I could sing this on stage, and I try to low down the tone a little bit, because in the past, I tended to sing too high all the time. This is something very tempting, and I try to correct it. So now I'm very careful with everything I'm writing, and I try to go lower and lower. And the result of that is actually that when you really do like high pitching vocals, it comes out like much better. You actually realize the whole range, because when you just sing high all the time, you know, in the end it's high but it's flat. So that's not good. And I think I have a pretty annoying tone, actually, to be honest. It can be very annoying on the long run. So I very much exercised to try to sound to make myself sound a bit differently on some tracks. So it's not too much from the nose. It's not too much, you know, like this or like that. It's just more like candy to my ears. I mean, I really try to do better with my vocals this time.
Do you work on your vocals outside of when you're working on a record or when you're on tour? Is there something that you have a routine?
No, I don't, and I should. I guess I'm a lazy ass about this, you know. I've always been. I'm always thinking about going to get a few lessons, but I never do. I'm just thinking about it, and but well, fortunately, you know, I still evolve and I get better actually, and I know a little bit on what to focus. I try to warm up as often as I can. This is I think it's the basics of everything. You really need to stretch your voice and to warm it up all the time, every day if you can, even if you don't sing, it doesn't matter. So now I try to do that, and I try to do it a lot before the shows because I used to not do anything, and that's a disaster. So now I disciplined myself a little bit, and it helped me a lot on the last show we played with the band. I got much better, so it's very satisfying. But it's very tricky. The voice is a very tricky instrument.
Yeah, it's you can't just change the strings like on a guitar.
Yeah.
So.
And unfortunately, it just get used, and that's it.
Yeah,
it just get rusty.
Yeah, it's a different animal altogether. Do you have a song on this album that you're perhaps really excited to play live above all others?
Let's say that my favorite song is Kiss the Sky, and we already played it. So we actually already changed the set list for the live shows, and we've been playing 4 new tracks since this summer. I guess we were a little tired of playing the same thing all the time, so we didn't wait for the release or anything. We just have it in the set list and we just play it. And the fact is, it worked very well. The response was great, so it's very encouraging, and I'm looking forward to add more from Untamed in the set list.
It's a great record. You have a lot of great material to pull from. I have one last question for you, and that is, after 7 albums, what are you most proud of everything that you have achieved with BlackRain?
To still be there. I mean, you know, we're not very big as a band, but we've done a lot, especially in France. So, you know, we've done big concerts, big festivals, big opening. We've been on TV several times, and we've done this video right now, like Demon, you know, the 4th single of Untamed, with those actors from this cult sitcom. At least it is cult in France. And so it's that kind of things we are very proud of, because it's only us doing this. And but most of all, I would still say that I'm really proud of still being here today, actually.
And just making music that you love.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, Swan, thank you very much for your time today. I really appreciate it. Great record, BlackRain with Untamed, out November 25th on Steam Hammer. I'm going to put the links in the description of this video so people can click and order the album.
Awesome.
Once again, congratulations, great album.
Yeah, thank you very much, man. I'm really pleased to hear that. So it means a lot, all that great feedback.
Yeah,
so thank you.
So much fun to listen to. Super engaging, very fun. It's a great record. I honestly really enjoyed it.
Nice. But yeah, I just saw you dropped a review, so I'm gonna take a look at it as soon as I can. See what
Right.
what
Take
you're
care,
saying.
man. All the best.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.